Okay, so I'm back. I think everything is working and microphone levels all seem fine. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the Premier League Season 3. As always, I am Basskip bringing you guys this game, and this is going to be our loser bracket matchup. The loser bracket final, in fact, between Virtus.Pro and Team Dignitas. VP going to be over on the dire side, and Dignitas starting off on the Radiant. As always, this is just an unofficial cast from me, so a very big thank you to the Premier League for giving me permission to cast these games. And a reminder that the official stream is over on twitch.tv / the Premier League, and that coverage is by Triumph of Man and Eternal Envy today, I believe. So getting us underway with the draft, Dignitas going to choose to ban out the Darkseer. I guess I'll just take this time quickly to remind anyone if they've got any replays or any feedback for me, then please feel free to send those through to anywhere that you see the name Basskip. But yeah, getting underway, Darkseer is going to start us off with the bans, and I guess in terms of the banning for this game, it's going to be a little bit more standard. Neither team really has sort of, I guess, the strength of the Empire Wisp or anything like that to fall back on. So we might see things just a little bit more standard this time around. And VP, what are they going for? So they're going to choose to ban out the Nyx. Dignitas might not ban out the Magnus since they do obviously have first pick, though it depends on how heavily teams favor him. Some teams don't really care about him all that much. Obviously he's still a pain to play against, but he gets a lower priority in terms of the draft. So, I guess another disclaimer is that it's now, what's the time? It's now just past 2 a.m. for me. I'm still fairly awake, but if a few mistakes and things start slipping into my casting, then hopefully you guys won't hold it against me. And Dignitas, what's the ban going to be? Already chewing into their reserve time, so really thinking about this one, and they're going to go for the Bounty Hunter. And it just, Bounty is such an interesting hero as far as the game goes these days, because in the Asian scene, he's remarkably unpopular. He's not really considered all that much as an offlaner, and always sort of makes it through the draft. In the Western scene, I'll help you out in a little bit, ZTY. Well, after this game. But in the Western scene, he's exceedingly popular and still a very strong offlaner and things like that. So Wisp is going to be the ban by VP. They were just playing against Empire, so I think they sort of felt the strength of that Wisp. Not sure if it's Dignitas' best hero, but with that ban, they're going to be able to grab themselves the Batrider. No, you don't have time for the raffle. So you mentioned that you thought you were going to have to stay around and you know, skip the day off work to sign up for the raffle. The New Year's raffle is closed. There will probably be another raffle sometime during the year, but the announcement for that will probably be just on my YouTube page at some point. So VP, what's it going to be for them? The Magnus has remained in the pool, so a pretty strong, well, a pretty solid chance that that's going to be grabbed up. We might see something like the Keeper of the Light as well. As always, Dota is sort of a game of trends, and things that you see in previous drafts do sort of tend to crop up later on. And Undying is going to be picked up, and the Keeper of the Light. So VP, they give themselves some great tri-lane potential there. All they really need is either a support or a carry with the setup stun, depending on how the Undying is going to be run. And Dignitas not really drafting themselves into a corner in the slightest, picking up the Batrider. He can offlane, he can mid, he can solo safe lane, he can jungle. It's flexibility, the name of the game for him. So Dignitas, what's it going to be? Interested to see what their carry is going to be in this game. We could see something fairly standard like the Luna, especially against the Undying pickup. Though we'll probably see at least one support grabbed here. Might be something like the Shadow Demon or the Rubik. And but yeah, again, Dignitas dipping into their reserve time right now to try and make these picks. I mean, it depends on how they think VP are going to be running this Undying and the Coddle. They've got the potential to run just a great defensive tri-lane, or they could go offensive. It'll be interesting to see what they pick up to try and deal with the Dirge. People have become more familiar with trying to with trying to deal with it. You can pick up the Gyrocopter as your carry, and he just cleans up all of the zombies no problem with Flak Cannon, which reduces the strength of the Tombstone. You can pick up Luna as your carry, which gives bonus damage, obviously, to all of your supports, which makes it pretty easy to right-click down at sort of any point in the game. You can pick up Nakes or CK as your carry. They've both got, obviously, great physical damage in terms of cleaning that one up. And speaking of the Nakes, it's now going to be grabbed up by Dignitas, so we're going to see some Lifestealer action, more than likely played by AUI 2000. So what's it going to be? And we do, I guess worth mentioning, obviously, is the potential for some Nakes bombs with the Batrider as well. And Dignitas, they're going for a red team this time around. They're going to pick up the Lena. So maybe looking for a setup stun from their other support, getting, well, as we get later on into the draft, though the open wounds from the Nakes is pretty reliable as far as slows go for setting up that Light Strike array. So VP, what's it going to be for them? They've pretty much already got their supports. They could start heading towards carries and things like that right now. They don't really have a whole lot of lockdown or kite for the Lifestealer just yet. If they're looking to run an offensive tri-lane, they could opt for something like the Shadow Demon and have the Undying as the primary farmer. The Purge is obviously pretty good against Lifestealer, and Disruption, as always, great for keeping him off his target, which he really does need in teamfights for the survivability. And yeah, VP just looking a little bit stun light right now. And PL actually going to be the pickup by them. And interesting to note that Magnus actually makes it all the way through the pool up until this point. And again, just shows that some teams favor him very, very heavily, and others not so much. So PL going to be the pick. Dignitas might have to respond with a little bit more AoE of their own right now. I mean, PL, the problem is going to be just taking him on late game. They've got a Lifestealer as their carry, so they can't really pick up AoE physical damage to try and deal with him. And AoE physical damage is the name of the game, dealing with Phantom Lancer later on. Once he starts getting points up in the Juxtapose, that, well, the magic resistance that he gets there means that he's really not going to be bursted down, or the illusions aren't really going to be bursted down, even by a full combo from the Lena. So Dignitas, I mean, one reaction to the Phantom Lancer is to try and put the pressure on early. VP, not sure how lanes are going to be working out. They do obviously have the very annoying Keeper of the Light PL combo available, so as far as defensive tri-lanes go, it's pretty difficult for Dignitas to try and push up into that. Not sure if we'll see them run an offensive tri-lane here, though the Lifestealer and the Lena do give them that option. It just depends on what they can sort of grab for the safe lane in that case. But things looking pretty good for both sides right now, though the Phantom Lancer is sort of that ticking clock as the game goes later and later. And we've got a Lone Druid banned out by VP, the Magnus banned out by Dignitas here. I mean, VP are still looking to sort of flesh out those 1 and, well, the 2 and 3 slots, really. Their mid, and then perhaps their offlaner, or the solo safe. Though the Undying Keeper with Light Phantom Lancer, offensive tri-lane, not sure if that's going to be the case in this game. So Dignitas, yeah, they're just banning out offlaners right now. And I guess a bit of a mid ban as well in the winner node there. They haven't shown their mid just yet either. Again, Batrider does have options available to him. So Dignitas do have the option of saying, well, okay, we're happy with whatever matchup he's going to have on mid, we can send him there. Or they can use their second to last pick to try and secure something else for mid, if VP choose to use the 4th pick for their mid. Though I think we might just see that as their utility slash offlaner to put them in a better position to try and get a last pick for their mid hero. So Dignitas, they're going to choose to ban out the Enigma here. Shadow Demon is banned by VP. Again, setup stuns are great to have with the Lena, and Shadow Demon, we have seen him be a pest against the Phantom Lancer. An illusion of an illusion is as strong as an illusion of the main hero. I guess to clarify that is, if you disrupt any of Phantom Lancer's illusions, that's the same in terms of getting the illusions that you create with the disruption are the same strength as if you disrupted the Phantom Lancer himself. So you don't get a double reduction in terms of damage. So Shadow Demon can always sort of make his own army of illusions later on in the game without even knowing which one the real Phantom Lancer is, though he does need a little bit of luck to sort of keep it sustained. So Tia is going to be the ban out by VP. Again, they are aware of the fact that Batrider doesn't necessarily have to be on mid, and yeah, it's looking like a pretty red lineup so far. We'll see if Dignitas can keep the theme rolling this time around. Maybe they were watching VP's game against Empire, though they did break the theme with the very last pickup. So Dignitas right now, what are they looking for? They could pick up a mid and send the Batrider to the jungle / off lane. They could pick up their second support and then flesh out either their offensive or their defensive tri-lane. Not sure if they're going to be running an offensive tri-lane, especially against an Undying and a Keeper of the Light. Two of the best defensive tri-lane heroes in the game in terms of punishing dives, in terms of punishing aggression. And Phantom Lancer, pretty good in terms of the escape. And Dignitas, it's actually going to be Sven picked up here. So we'll see how this works out. It's a bit of duo carry. We've seen this from them before. They could still run an offensive tri-lane and then have the Nakes or someone farming, or solo farming the safe lane. Though Dignitas maybe even realizing that they have the option to run the Lifestealer in the jungle for a little bit as well. This is something that we have seen them do. The Sven could just be a support, but even a support Sven is scary. I mean, support Sven into the Stormhammer, into the Lightstrike Array, into all of the damage, into Lifestealer's right click is absolutely crazy. And Sven should be able, again, to get a little bit of farm. I think Dignitas might have that space this game, especially with the Phantom Lancer not really contributing all that much for the first little bit. So VP, we'll see if they opt to pick up an offlaner who's trying to contest things at all, or if it's just going to be maybe something like the Nature's Prophet, who just starts out jungling a little bit and then applying the split pressure. But it's actually going to be Beastmaster. So this could be their mid, it could be their offlaner. The problem with the Beastmaster these days is teams are far too experienced in terms of just blocking out the Ancient stack, and so unless you give him a ranged support for a few minutes and some sentries, there's no reliable way to really protect that stack. And not sure if VP even really have the presence right now to be able to defend the stack, which is the second question in terms of picking up the Beastmaster and sending him towards the offlane. He needs the Ancients to recover, and he really needs them not to be stolen, otherwise it's a huge amount of gold and XP obviously going the way of the enemy team. So Dignitas, they're going to pick up the Quap here. We'll see how their lanes work out. It could be an offensive tri-lane between the double melee and the Lina Batrider on the safe lane, and then Queen of Pain heading towards mid. Again, they sort of got two mids right now, so they can send things either way. It could be an off-lane Queen of Pain as well with a defensive tri-lane. Flexibility, really the name of the game for Dignitas. And VP, what's it going to be for them right now? They've got 3 melee. It would be great to see another range. It would be nice to see another stun. The Beastmaster is a bit of a reaction to the Sven pickup, since you do need something to lock him down during BKB. Even a support Sven can get enough damage up that you need to focus him down, that you need to kill him. So, VP, last pickup. Nice to see some more stun. I mean, they've got someone who can pick up a little bit more farm. The Beastmaster doesn't necessarily obviously have to be on mid, and so their mid needs to be able to deal with Bat. They need to be able to deal with Quap, and it's just going to be the Nature's Prophet. So this probably bumps the Prophet into the jungle. Beastmaster's heading towards mid. He might get a little bit of support from maybe the Keeper of the Light for a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this works out for both teams, and I think Dignitas will start to see how things are going to be played a little bit more as we see their heroes picked up. And we've actually got a stand in this game for Dignitas. I didn't quite notice that, but looks like we've got... Who is missing? I should know Dignitas' lineup off by heart, but we've actually got Inori standing in, and I'm going to have to jump off directed camera there. Sorry about that, guys. So over on Dignitas, it's going to be AUI playing the Lifestealer. Fogged is going to be on that Queen of Pain. Tides on the Sven, and Inori on the Batrider for this game, and that leaves Way Too Sexy to play the Lina. Over on the side of VP, we've got Airman playing the Phantom Lancer, and S is going to be on the Keeper of the Light. No surprises for him on that support. Santa is going to be on the Undying. Tame My Wild is going to be on the Beastmaster, so there's just going to be a solo mid Beastmaster, and KSI going to be on that Nature's Prophet. So VP sort of sacrificing their offlane, but the advantage of having the Nature's Prophet is that, similar to a Darkseer, he can just head into the jungle for a little bit, get some farm if the wave pushes in. He can go down, get some nice safe XP, and then just go straight back to farming. And split pressure will be good, though he doesn't necessarily have the best team fight or anything like that. VP strategy really reliant on using the Keeper of the Light and the Undying, along with the Beastmaster, to sort of, I guess, propel the PL into the late game. It's pretty defensive from them right now. They don't really have a huge amount of push potential, but they do have the Nature's Prophet and they do have the Beastmaster, so there is at least a little bit there. And it's Universe. Your QWERTY arc is 100% right. Universe is missing right now for Dignitas, so not sure why he eluded me there, but Universe is... Well, I guess, yeah, Universe is who I'm missing, with Snaking no longer being a part of Dignitas. Yeah, I'm not sure how I missed that one. But still a pause right now. Hopefully we'll be underway pretty soon. We did see some prolific pauses during G League, but Premier League has actually been pretty good so far. Let's have a quick check-in on starting items, and oh right, I guess the other problem is what server it is and pings. Yeah, I can't actually check pings since I'm not actually in the game, but US East, I think it's going to be around 250 for both teams, so not the best thing in the world. But yeah, need a server in the middle of the ocean, so it's a little bit more fair. So we've got AOI with Quelling Blade and Stat Shield. He can duck into the jungle again a little bit. Way too sexy. He's got some center woods picked up, so looks like it's just going to be a defensive tri-lane from them. Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad for both sides, regardless of US East or US West. And it looks like it might just be, I suppose, a jungle Batrider. He's got his Springer Protection picked up, some tangos, probably just fast Tranquil Boots and go from there. And starting items from Fogged, yeah, it's just a Bottle Rush for him, so he's going to be heading towards mid. We might see the Batrider head up towards top to try and soak some XP if a big double wave pushes in, but I think he's just going to be jungling for now. So I guess a little bit DK-esque from Dignitas here, sacrificing their off lane and relying on the Radiant defensive parallelogram of these 4 towers with their jungle in the middle. So we do finally have an unpause, and everybody's heading, well, Dignitas 5-man, well 4-man heading down towards bot, and Ori actually heading up towards the off lane right now. So it looks like he's going to start off there. Interesting to see that he doesn't opt to start off in the jungle, try and get a few levels up that way, since VP, they've got pretty terrifying kill potential in this lane. They don't have a lot of lockdown, but they're going to have the Spirit Lance spam the entire time, and if those Illuminates end up catching out the Batrider, that's going to spell trouble. What's it for Beastmaster on mid? It's actually a salve as opposed to tangos for his Bottle Rush this game. And I guess some of that is influenced by the fact that can you? No, okay, so you can't salve. Wait, damage over time 30 after reductions. No, it's not enough. I was going to mention that maybe you can salve through the rank 1 Shadow Strike, but I don't think that's the case unless my mechanics knowledge is a little bit off right now. But it is more efficient in terms of HP. He's got a pretty good starting HP pool. So that's probably the difference between the salve and the tangos. And salves are actually a little bit better on mid, since it means that you don't need to back off to the trees to try and heal. So our 0-minute rune is going to be a double damage picked up here by NS, and he's not really needed up on top right now, so he might try and get a little bit of harassment down on mid before starting off this game. I mean, again, they're up against an off-lane Batrider. He can't really play up all that much and try and get farm. He's got reasonable range, not very great move speed. So Santa should be fine to keep him out of the lane just by himself. And he's actually going to opt to body block off this hard camp, which is a nice little decision because it means that the Batrider can't go for the pull across into the lane. And we're going to be harassed down immediately by Santa. There's a lane ward keeping tabs on him as well. And NS doing a great job of zoning out Fogged right now with that double damage, so making good use of that. In terms of Radiant wards right now, it's just pretty standard. We've got some Rune Sight, and we've got Side of any TPs heading in, though there's actually not anyone on this off lane right now. So Fogged gets some harassed down on NS, just trying to get him out of this lane, though. Looks like he's going to cop and Illuminate. Down at about half HP and not really getting all that close to his bottle just yet. So VP, smart decision from them, just to send the Keeper of the Light across to start. At least secure Beastmaster his bottle and get him underway on mid. And looks like we're ready to go. I mean, Tame, he's already got his bottle finished up. 5-4 his score. Fogged only managed to sneak in for one last hit. Yeah, and Dignitas. Maybe looks like they're just having a couple of problems with their stand-in right now. Batrider, fortunately already up to level 2, hasn't really been feeling the pressure all that much from this double melee lane, but he doesn't have any observer wards or anything like that off to the side. So as soon as NS rejoins this lane, the Illuminate spam should be able to keep him out reasonably. But looks like NS just wants to hang out on mid to start things off. We'll see. We'll see about the decision right now. I think that he's given a good enough lead maybe to Tame with that bottle at the start. Though Fog should have his pretty quickly. And it's actually just bonus regen right now, and that's actually being chopped up by him. So I guess realizing that there is the potential for the Coddle to hang out here. And with the point up in Mana Leak, that could spell trouble. We've got one Illuminate going to be channeled on Inori, eating a Decay before that as well. There's the Spirit Lance. He is in big trouble. Pops off the Firefly, needs to make it down the cliff. Going to cop a few more right clicks. Not sure if he's going to die, but that's the majority of his regen gone. And needs to be playing extremely carefully. Now, interesting to see that, again, he just doesn't opt to head down into the jungle and try and get some farm there. I mean, he can hold off the push a little bit on top using the Firefly, but the only XP he's going to be getting is whatever arrives at his doorstep at that tower. So Fogs, I mean, just with that bad start on mid, hasn't been finding all that much farm. Pops out that salve that he had delivered, but Beastmaster's already off grabbing the 2-minute rune, so that's a regen for him. Dignitas just opting to run a couple of pulls right now, and this is, I guess, the big decision for them right now. They're running duo carries. So Lifestealer is jungling. He's choke point jungling right now. So AOI, it's a bit of an interesting strategy to see, and I guess I'll keep an eye on this for a little bit longer just so you guys can check it out. But choke point jungling is effectively cutting down key trees and things like that, so only one neutral creep can attack you at a time while you're jungling. It's pretty good to do as Nakes, and it does enable some other junglers to have an easier start as well. Batrider just trying to disrupt the pull right now, and we'll be able to make it down onto the low ground, but he's in a little bit of trouble. What is the overall score for the series? Well, the overall score for this game so far is the first blood picked up by Santa there. Inori copping and illuminating, well, copping and illuminate, and KSI coming in from the ramp just to ensure that one. So we got a little bit of AoE gold. But the overall score right now is it's 0 each. This is a fresh series. This is our loser bracket final. So the winner of this match, well, the winner of this set advances to play Empire in the grand final. So Dignitas, it's pretty greedy play by them right now, but it should work out. I mean, Sven is a terrifying carry. Nakes does a pretty good job as well, and Tame maybe in a little bit of trouble on mid. There's the sting, drops low, Fog comes in, gets the scream off. Tame trying to juke, still has the salve, pops off the regen to get a little bit of healing out, and he's actually getting a lot out of it. He might be able to survive, turns around for the axes, Aoi pops the rage, but the tower might kill him off. Good play here by Tame, and KSI comes in, but Nakes is already dead. Fogged wants this kill, but bottling up, and now he's the target, is going to be able to blink out. But really well played by the Beastmaster, and a big commit from Dignitas there. And that's even going to slow down Aoi's, well, slow down his Hand of Midas, which looks like that's going to be the rush for him. So, VP push begins on top. I mean, Batrider can't head into the jungle really since AUI is there. But he's really set back now with that death, which is really unfortunate to see. And Inori doing a good job of holding on top, but his team isn't going to be able to rely on him to set up things too much. He's going to have the lasso, but he's not really going to have a blink unless things really start working out for him. And interesting to see that Way Too Sexy isn't opting to stack up any camps or anything like that as a recovery mechanism for the Batrider. It is something that we do see if you run an offlane Batrider. Obviously, I mean, Nature's Prophet is effectively the offlaner for VP, but he's getting a lot of farm and can just head down to soak up that XP whenever. But Batrider doesn't really have that option with AUI jungling, and he's going to need some recovery space in the mid game unless Dignitas get off to a good start. And Fogs dies on mid, the roar pops, and Tame managing to get the aggro off there. AUI comes in just a second too late. So a nice pick off there, and Tame actually diving all the way back behind the tower to pick that one up. So sorry about missing that one, guys. Just caught it out of the corner of my eye just a little bit too late. So AUI happy to come in and grab a little bit of mid farm. KSI, the same story for him. They're both heading towards a Midas. And AUI actually not that far behind the Nature's Prophet right now, even with a death. So Nake's pretty speedy in the jungle, and KSI has been roaming around trying to set up some kills. I mean, we've already seen 2 TPs heading in towards mid. So Fog comes back. He's finally got his bottle picked up, but it's only 16-2 for him right now. Tame is definitely in control of this middle lane. Look at the damage from those rank 4 axes on only a level 5 Queen of Pain. That's almost a third of her HP, completely gone there. And I mean, Fogged with only 3 armor, the axes are doing pretty good damage as well. Inori's in trouble on top. Airman still chasing, just needs one more lance. Regenerate picked up as we see that, but Inori able to escape up on over the cliff. So it looks like he's going to be fine. Illuminate's not going to connect on anything. And KSI actually pretty low right now. Are they done with the push? The tier 1's still pretty healthy, and we've got Fogged now moving up, but he's only level 5. The Roar threatened. There's the Sting. Picks up a kill on KSI, but Tame is going to be able to get in position for that Roar. Good two-man stun from Tides. Warcry not going to be able to get Fogged out. Throws out one last Scream. One last act of defiance for him, but he drops, and VP immediately onto the tower. I mean, there's nothing that AUI or even Way Too Sexy can really do right now. So TP support comes in, but it's going to be the tier 1 and a couple of kills picked up here by VP, and they've already got the standard 1 point up in the Inner Beast for this push as well. TP support actually now coming in, tower not quite in deny range just yet. It's not actually TP support, it's just Anori returning to the lane. So Dignitas, they've got to be careful. They are running double carry, and the Sven with his AoE physical damage is a great way to deal with the Phantom Lancer in the late game. Did mention that during the draft, but it's pretty greedy play from them right now, and we'll have to see how quickly VP are going to be able to continue pushing. I mean, Dignitas do have some pretty reasonable counter push, but if they start losing more and more towers, they're going to have trouble in terms of farm, especially since they're relying so heavily on the jungle for AUI to get his precious farm up. He's almost got his Midas finished. KSI, quick check in on his. They're pretty much neck and neck right now. And I guess Dignitas may be getting the XP advantage out since they do have an offlaner and VP don't, so that's where that's coming from. Though gold is a little bit in favor of VP right now. So AUI's got his Midas, Way Too Sexy, just some wards. Gonna walk straight into Tame. Fogs for now, but Tame actually just backing off. A little bit weird there. The boar might be able to catch him, but Way Too Sexy just gonna TP out. And Tides knows that he's a bit of a target on bot. Tame's coming in from the side. Santa is here as well. Needs to be careful. That last hit might cost him. Here comes the Roar. And the rank 2 boar pops with the Warcry, but a lot of that duration going to be wasted by the stun. KSI is coming in as well, but the Roar already used. Tides is just going to TP himself home. So I guess a bit of a problem for VP right now. They've got one stun, and that's the Roar. And as soon as that's used, Dignitas, if they've got enough survivability, they can just TP out. I mean, they've got the mana leak, but if you're not moving, you're not being stunned by it. So good play by Tides. And VP, will they just try and maybe turn this into a tower? Again, map control is a big deal for Dignitas. They're playing a pretty greedy game with the Midas picked up on AUI. He's not really contributing all that much. And Dignitas now going for a 3-man smoke. Looking for Airman right now. They should definitely have some anti-invis picked up. There's the Warcry forward. It's only a sentry. They need to get the chain stun. There's the sentry. There's the stun. And they don't even need the drag. The Laguna Blade pops and Airman bites the dust. At the same time, a tier 1 does fall on bot, so a little bit of an unintentional trade. But a really good gank there from Dignitas. And it frees them up a little bit of space. I mean, the Phantom Lancer is really VP's late game insurance, and if Dignitas can just make it there, they're going to have the Sven, they're going to have the Lifestealer, they should be in a pretty good position. So VP really need to be leveraging their push right now. It's a bit strange since they're effectively playing 4-man Dota while they wait for the Phantom Lancer to farm up, but he's going for a relatively early game build. It just looks like it's going to be a straight defusal, and Tides with one more TP there as he eats the Spirit Lance. Fog, another target on mid. The Roar is up. There's the Roar. There's the Illuminate. There's the Nature's Prophet ultimate as well. So one more death added to Fog's tally so far. And that's 3 for him. He has not been having a fun game so far. Has really been shut down. And what if we got picked up? Yeah. Tame, he's heading towards a blink. So 2150 gold in the bank. Though I guess it could be a Necro book or something like that for a little bit more push. Interesting to see that he hasn't just grabbed that blink, if that's going to be the item for him. So Dignitas coming to defend. KSI trying to make use of the Radiant jungle right now. So trying to push out that Radiant farm at least a little bit, and Hori battling it out with the illusions on top, but not too much happening just yet. I guess checking in on the secret war of the game that is the wards right now. So we've got an aggressive ward placed down by Dignitas on top. So they're sort of staking their claim to this tier 1. We might see a push happen before that ward runs out. What have we got? Then we've got, well, that's a dire ward, just keeping an eye on the bottom rune. We've got a fairly non-standard ward from Dignitas on mid, but it does give them vision, at least a little bit of TPs coming into the Radiant tier 1. And Dignitas Blink, oh, the dust goes. Can they get the knockback on Airman? Inori's still chasing, but looks like Airman just a little bit too fast. Another TP support called for, so Dignitas not going to be able to find that kill. And dedicating 3 heroes to that one as well. Unfortunate that they waste that little bit of time. So AOI still finding some good farm in the jungle. I mean, Dignitas not really worried about the map control just yet. Though they did lose the tier 1 on bot, so they're starting to get pushed back a little bit. And as soon as they lose this tier 1 on mid, they sort of lose the Radiant's only potential to contest the Roshan pit, and they also lose sort of control of these 3 jungle camps, which is a lot of gold. It's 2 medium camps and a large camp that they're sort of losing the potential to farm safely if they lose this mid tier 1, since VP will have 3 entrances to the Radiant jungle. Fogged finds himself a haste, so that's a 12-minute rune, but Dignitas still just sitting back right now. We've got a big go down on bot, but Tides looks like he's going to be fine to escape. KSI comes in, but he's immediately nuked down, and Tame, now the target. He's got a TP just juking into the trees. Tides does have a stun waiting, however, so there's the stun, picking up that kill and punishing the aggression well from VP. Only really using 2 to try and pick off Tides. Maybe just a little bit too tanky there. So I guess some slightly shonky decision making right there from VP, and Beastmaster still hasn't shown us what he's going to be picking up with that with that 2,500 gold. So AUI continues to farm. He's almost up to 2k, and I'll just switch over to net worth right now. Not sure why I was still on last 6 denies, just so you guys can get a slightly better picture. So even with just the jungle lifestealer, he's actually ahead right now in terms of farm compared to the safe lane PL, who has taken a gank his way. And looks like it's just going to be some phase boots picked up by AUI here. We'll see if he picks up a drum as well, a bit of an FNC build, or maybe just a bit of his own hybrid build as well. So, Dignitas, what's it going to be? Tide's broadsword picked up might be... I feel like that might just be straight crit. What else does broadsword build into? We'll check that out. So, Blade Mail, Battle Fury, or crit. I think it might just be straight crit for him. And Warcry in. NS, can you make your escape? He's still just standing around, maybe acting as a little bit of bait, but he needs the soul rip right now. He gets bursted down. Santa actually doesn't have any points up in the sword, gets the tombstone down, but as quickly as it was there, it was gone. Tides pops out that ultimate and cleans it up. Tides one more right click. He goes down, Fogged with the blink away. It's 1-for-1 the trade just yet, and the Keeper of the Light for the Sven, not the best in the world. But Fogged, he's just heading towards some treads. And VP pretty good on the counter aggression, but NS really baiting people. Yeah, NS really just baiting people in there. We saw him dancing around a little bit. He might have been able to escape. Keeper of the Light is very, very fast. So he sort of waited until he got stunned, and then the fight ensued from VP, but they only found 1. So 1-for-1 trade, neither team really coming out on top there. What have we got going on? Airman's still farming away. He's getting pretty close to that Diffusal Blade. We've got a smoke right now from VP, but it might have been spotted out by this ward. So Dignitas may be a little bit suspicious. Not sure where that one pops. Nobody else has smoked. It was just a solo smoke for the Beastmaster. But now a smoke from Dignitas and the Hawk. Still just scouting out, but not sure if it would have spotted that one. So it's 3 heroes heading up towards top, and they do have Tides in tow. Again, this time. This was the successful ganking setup last time around, and I guess with the smoke, they also know that this is an illusion. So, yep. Smart play by Dignitas, just walking straight past. Hunting right now, they've got this ward to spot out Airman, but he's actually being dragged away to the middle lane, so the gank doesn't connect, and Dignitas left reeling just a little bit, but they might try and make a backstab on mid, but Fogged and AUI can't really hold this solo, so we really need to wait for this gank squad from Dignitas to move into position. But Tame, he's looking for AUI right there, and the tier 1 pretty much already dead. Dignitas come in with the backstab. They get the nuke down, but there's the blind. The Laguna Blade pops as well. They need to get the drag, but nice roar. Airman pops up those stick charges. 2 already dead. Nice 2-man stun. Tide's going to work, and Tombstone doing some good damage as well. 3 already dead. AUI now the target. 1 more decay stack up on him. Faceboot's going to be up in just a second. Axis Fly don't connect, still chasing. This is a bit of a problem. They can't really keep him locked down. AOI juking a little bit. There's one more decay. He's got the Infest. Infest up, gets some bonus HP, but it gives them some time to chase. And there's a point picked up in the mana leak. AOI stunned for a fraction of a second. Is he going to be able to buy enough time for his teammates to respawn and TP back in? KSI now hunting. He does have a Quelling Blade, however. Body blocking a little bit. VP, this is a very, very long dive from you guys. And can they find it in the end? One more mana leak stun. NS says he's not done. And the axe is not quite going to connect. AOI still a fight for his life. And it looks like in the end he will survive. So I guess someone cue the Benny Hill theme there, and now here's the turnaround. Dignitas buying themselves enough time. The Flame Break knocking back Tame, and the drag and the stun. He's going to be killed off. The Tombstone is there. Stick Charge is actually keeping him alive for now, and the nuke not finishing him there. He's actually finished up that Necrobook, so that's what we were waiting for. Axes Fly, Tides dropped low. They can't get the zombies off. Soul Rip finds that kill, and Dignitas. Two-man stun from Way Too Sexy, turns around with the Laguna Blade, well played there. Santa finds that kill. Fogs now finally throwing out the ultimate. Can they find this kill? Yes, they can. Santa and Tame very, very low, but Inori, not a whole lot that he can do, and that's a team wipe in favor of VP there. Leading the board with 8 kills right now. So a very, very long, very, very long chase from them, but Undying Tombstone came back off cooldown, and we're able to turn the fight around. Everybody escaping on very, very low HP, but still pretty good there. And yep, AOI, it's just going to be a drum of endurance for him, but they're already sort of losing the map control. And I mean, Sven isn't really all that scary just yet. I mean, he's just got the broadsword and some treads. So VP, they're in a pretty good position, and Airman didn't really help out at all. And yeah, you did miss something. Yeah, everybody's dead. So what do we got going on? We've got that Necrobook up for the Beastmaster, with VP having taken that tier 1 on mid. They've got pretty good control of the Roshan pit right now, and I mean, they've still got some other map objectives to pick up, but the tier 2 towers are a little bit harder, obviously, to take out. And as heading towards a mech, KSI, he's got a medallion picked up. We did see that Midas, and actually Phase Boots on the Nature's Prophet, so a little bit unusual there. We might see this Mythal Hammer going towards a Maelstrom just for a little bit more push power. Airman's finished up his Diffusal Blade, and weird attack animation there. A little bit of dewarding by VP. Again, they can have their eye sort of on Roshan at any time. They've got the Medallion, and they've got the Treants to tank at absolutely any time. So wouldn't be surprised to see them head out that way. Rank 2 Necronomicon picked up by the Beastmaster. TP's heading down towards bot, and this is again another big problem for Dignitas. Not only are they on the Radiant side, so they're already at a disadvantage in terms of defending Roshan. They've lost their tier 1, so that's another point against them, and then they're playing against the Furion, who is going to be continuously split pushing. Even just the illusions from the Phantom Lancer. VP can afford to split push 2 lanes and not feel all that concerned about having Dignitas contest Rosh. They don't have anything like a Keeper of the Light to split push on their own and then bring somebody in. So I think it should be pretty much every Rosh going the way of VP, and they should start to capitalize on that pretty soon. Tides, anything on the courier for him? Not really. He doesn't have all that much farm. And I mean, he was on the safe lane, but he was trying to set up kills all around the map and only really found 3 deaths. So VP going to be pretty happy with the position that they're in. Right now at least. And Santa's found some pretty good farm on that Undying. He's heading towards a pipe. Necrobook 3 now finished for the Beastmaster. We've got the mech flying out right now for NS, and KSI, they're heading straight into the pit. Again, oh, was the recall used? No. So, oh, was he recalling KSI? Maybe. No. Teleportation's on cooldown. So, mech's dropped off. Very easy Roshan for VP to secure. Dignitas can't even really find a trade. They don't have the fastest push in the world. They're a little bit more skirmish oriented, and again, not even all that teamfight based. They don't really have big abilities to fight around, though VP don't really have either. Tide's in trouble on top. Airman just going to town, pops off the Work Eye, but this is going to be a death, purging off the Work Eye, and one more right click from Airman secures that one. Inori comes up. He's got a Blink Dagger picked up, so they can look for some pickoffs. And Dust Pop, there's the Blink, there's the drag. AOI coming in from the rear. Airman dropping low, but he's actually relatively tanky. He can diffuse a blade off the Dust, but doesn't have enough mana to get into the double walk again, so he's going to drop from one more right click from Aoi. But VP are already on mid. It's a 3-man push, and KSI joins the fray as well. He's got that Aegis picked up, and this is a pretty easy tier 2 to pick. Well, tier 2, so it's 1 for 1, but VP, cherry on top for them is the tower. So looking pretty good right now, and Dignitas, they don't even have good defensive teamfight to fall back on. They do have the Nakes and the Sven, who are going to be absolute monsters in the late game if they can get there, but not sure if VP are going to be giving them that opportunity in. I mean, Airman, with the Yasha, with the Diffusal Blade, just needs a little bit of tankiness before he can start joining these fights, but VP doing fine with just with 4 right now. And I guess quick check-in on the warding. Dignitas still doing a pretty good job of keeping them up, though we might see a gem come out from VP pretty soon, and they're actually being a little bit lax in terms of wards. They do have the Beastmaster Hawk to sort of make up for that one. And VP claiming the tier 2 tower on bot very, very easily. Dignitas knowing that they can't take a team fight, especially when VP have the Aegis. So VP playing this perfectly. They pick up the Aegis, and now they're making absolutely full use of it while still giving Airman time to farm. So very aware of their overall strategy, and Dignitas, they're getting pushed further and further back. AUI now with an armlet picked up. I mean, does have some pretty good damage right now, but can be kited fairly well, especially with the roar from the Beastmaster, and even the boar can be a pain for a lifestealer. So the Beastmaster a pretty good pickup in that regard. But VP, they can just play the starvation game right now. They only need 3 heroes to keep Dignitas on their toes, counter pushing a wave. And KSI and Airman can just be all around the map, finding farm, keeping the lanes pushed in, and Dignitas can't even really push out. So VP, no, maybe a little bit of action happening, but Santa not in trouble. The roar happens on Inori. Good 2-man stun. The KSI is in, and NS dragging Airman into the fight. Fogg is already dead just from those Necro units, and Airman actually picking up that kill. Big dive here, but looks like VP, smart decision making. They're just gonna go straight for the racks. The fortification pops, but 2 dead over on Dignitas, and no buyback available. The Desolator already picked up. That was going to be a racks, and Dignitas going to call the GG. So that's a 23-minute GG there. VP, great play by them, and just able to get straight up onto the high ground. Just too much global mobility, really. With only 3 heroes there, they had the potential to bring more in at absolutely any time. So game 1 going the way of VP. Do have to remember that Dignitas are playing with a stand-in right now, so that's a little bit unfortunate for them, but hopefully they'll be able to find their feet in the next game. And again, they did just wake up right now for this game, since they are over in the States. So I guess we can give them a little bit of leeway in terms of this game as well. I'll just wait around for the final score screen for the sake of the VODs, obviously, and then hopefully Fogged will disconnect and we can get underway with our game 2, which should be happening in just a few minutes after the conclusion of this one. Yep, so Fogg's going to disconnect. Final score screen will pop up in just a second. As always, I have been Basskip. This is our loser bracket final for Dignitas. Well, this is our loser bracket final for the Premier League Season 3, Dignitas versus VP. Those are the teams. This is game 1, so VP now with a 1-0 lead in this set. As well, again, I'm just an unofficial caster for this game, so big thanks for the Premier League for allowing me to cover this match. A reminder that the official caster is Triumph of Man, and I believe he's being joined by Eternal Envy. You can find them in-game, or you can find them over on the Premier League Twitch stream. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this game. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you've got any feedback for me, please feel free to leave that anywhere that you see the name Basskip. But that's going to be it for Game 1. Hope to see you guys in Game 2.